Damn it. 3, 2, 1. Hey, how you guys doing? This is William Myers from Mantis Outdoors. Just wanted to kind of bring you guys into my home for once. You know, this isn't an outdoor video. This is an indoor video. Show you some of my daily, rituals as far as like medicines go and things like that. I do have type 2 diabetes, and I treat that type 2 diabetes with a diet of very low carbs. Carbs transmutes into sugars. Alcohol, I really don't drink too much alcohol. That transmutes into sugars as well. Higher protein, high ketones, to be honest with you, and that's not really good for diabetes, but the more carbs and things like that you eat, the higher your sugar levels are. So I pretty much am on a higher ketone diet, more proteins and things like that, low carbs, and I use Chaga on a daily basis. As I've talked about in many videos, I use Chaga every day. So we're in the middle of processing some Chaga right now, so I figured I'd just bring you along with it. And so what I'm going to do is I just kind of get my knife in there, separate this as much as possible, and then I'll either use a coffee grinder or just a regular blender to kind of get it down into smaller pieces. And that's going to allow me to get the extraction I want. Man down. Oh, it's okay. So it's a messy job. It's a dirty job. Do it about once a week. So these pieces right here usually will last me about a week. I'll steep them. Obviously, these could be smaller pieces than this. I'll steep and then save what I've steeped. Steep it again 3, 4, 5 times a day or a week, and then I'll move on to another set. I usually don't go more than like 5 or 6 steeps with a certain amount of Chaga, depending on the color of the Chaga. So you can see this. This is actually a pretty good tender Chaga because you can see that bright orange in there. And that dark orange and even the black, that's good for medicinal use. So I don't only use this. I'll use this as teas, but also what I do is a tincture. And we're going to grab that real quick too. Alright, so along with my Chaga tea for my morning tea, I put in 9 drops of this. And what this is Everclear 151 and a bunch of Chaga, as you can see. And you want to let something like this steep for at least 8 weeks, if not even more. You know, you can use it at the 8-week mark. You know, you can fill up a bottle and you can start using it, and that's going to carry you through to the 10 to 12 to 14-week mark where it's getting a little bit better. So this is at probably 20 weeks right now, and it's steeped quite a bit. You can see that dark color that it emits. It's what I'm looking for right there. And that tincture is just getting those alcohol soluble phytochemicals and things like that I'm wanting to extract out, along with the water soluble minerals that I'm looking to extract as well. So I'm getting the best of both worlds. That's what my morning ritual is. You know, and then at night I do pretty much the same thing. I don't use tincture at lunchtime. You know, I'll just make it like a Chaga tea at lunchtime, and then at night I'll make a Chaga tea with the tincture as well. But periodically throughout the day, I'll just hit a couple drops of the tincture. You know, I carry the bottle around with me, and my sugar never goes above 180. You know, that's not exactly perfect, but that's on the rare occasion that it goes to that. Usually stays about 120, 100, 120. Every now and then it even goes low, you know, into the 90s and into the 80s. But just wanted to kind of bring you into my home and show you my daily ritual as far as that goes. I'm going to get this into smaller pieces, then we're going to brew some tea up. I'm going to show you how that goes. Alright, so now we have pretty fine powder in there, and we're going to wait till this dust kind of settles down a little bit, and we're going to get in there and extract what we have ground up. Now, like I said, what I use at home is totally different from what I use when I'm in the outdoors. So I'll use like a coffee press or something like that to extract my teas. And when I'm out in the field, I'll use like maybe nickel to dime size pieces to make teas out of. When I'm at home, I'll grind it into a smaller powder, and then, like I said, use a press. But even in the press, it'll make like a cake at the bottom of the press, and then I'll put that on a paper towel, and then I'll let that dry because it's good for another extraction. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab this out of here. You know, this is kind of like, you kind of treat it like tea or coffee, you know. I store it in something. Sometimes it'll cake in the bottom. We'll just put this in a sink. I'm sure Megan will get it. She'll be happy to do that. And then from there, I'll just grab a spoon here. That's plenty in there. And you see, the reason why I want those tiny pieces is because the more surface area that I get, the more extraction I'm going to get. You know, in the field, when I use the, you know, the bigger pieces, one is because I don't really want to carry around powder with me, and you know, it's harder. I gotta let it steep longer and things like that to get the extraction that I want. With this, it's literally, you treat it just like tea or coffee. You know, you put your hot water in, extract what you want to extract, press it down, so drink it. I kind of cheat when it comes to me being at home. I use an electric kettle, and it's really easy for me. All you just fill it up, press a button, and I'm gonna get boiling water. Oh, got a little too much crap in the sink. Alright, you know, easy cheesy right there, man. So we're going to get some boiling water. As soon as that stops, we're going to come over. We're going to fill up our coffee press, and then we're going to have nice Chaga tea for the morning. Alright, so our water's boiling. Throw it in our Chaga. The reason why I spin it is because I want to hit all the Chaga, get it wet, that way it'll sink. And this is good for about 2 cups of tea. I put my press on, and then I wait for about 10 minutes or so. Now, this, I have a medicine syringe. I usually use these for the kids and stuff like that. I usually use some kind of a dropper, but since we moved, I can't find the bottle that I usually use, but it's no big deal. I just filled up a dropper, or I'm sorry, a medicine syringe full of that, and I'll put about 9 drops in my tea, and I'll be ready for the day. So we'll be back here in about 10 minutes. All right, so it's been about 10 minutes. We're gonna press this down. This will get pretty much everything out except for the real fine soot, which I don't really care about anyway. I do sweeten mine a little bit. I don't use sugar. I use 100% stevia, because if I use sugar, it would kind of make everything a moot point. But I do like it a little sweeter. If you don't, it has kind of like a woody, kind of cedary taste. It does anyway, but when you sweeten it up a little bit, it makes it, you know, I like it. It makes it really good in my opinion. There we go, guys. Chaga tea. We'll use the tincture. And 10 drops. This big of a cup, we can do a couple more. I'll just set that in the back. On a side note, with the tincture, I always store it in a cabinet to where it can't be exposed to sunlight. You don't want your tinctures exposed to sunlight. And about once or twice a day, I'll give it a shake. Make sure all the tincture, as much as possible, all the chaga is covered by the alcohol. And if you're alcohol sensitive, or or like a recovering alcoholic and things like that, I understand people don't like to use alcohol for that. There are other ways of extracting a tincture, oil extractions, things like that. They don't work as well in my opinion. As far as the actual alcohol content of this, minuscule. A lot. That's the point of the tincture. A lot of the alcohol is being used, it's being absorbed by the chaga itself. So, let me get a spoon real quick. Stir this up. Make sure that tincture's in there. As you can see, it's a nice dark color. Got a really good extraction from that hot water. And let's try it. The stevia in there makes it a little sweet, but it is a real wood, kind of, not woody taste, but kind of a background of like cedar almost. I enjoy it a lot. Obviously I drink it 2-3 times a day. So like I said, I just wanted to bring you guys into my home, show you some of my daily ritual. It's about 5 in the morning right now. So gonna probably have maybe some eggs with this, maybe a little bit of toast, and that's about it. Go out, start filming some knife videos and probably some shelter videos, some other videos that we're going to be bringing to you. I'm going to do maybe grass mat, stuff like that. Going to give you a channel update of what videos you can see in the future. We're thinking about doing some grass mat stuff, some weaving, showing you guys how to make willow baskets and stuff like that. So that's kind of like where we're heading right now. My shoulder's kind of back to where I can start working again, start getting out into the woods and start making things with my hands. So you'll be looking forward to that, hopefully, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one. All right, just an addendum to the video. We're done with our tea, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this out. Everything that's attached to here, kind of give it a shake. Then I can just throw that in the sink. What I'm really looking for is this cake that's in the bottom of here. I usually let this sit for a little bit, but for the purpose of the video, just go ahead and try to give that a tap without breaking my press. Kids are waking up right now. Alright, so anything other than that, I'm really not hard pressed about. So I can take and put that in the sink, rinse that out. But what I have left, usually, like I said, I let it dry a little bit more than this, is this big cake. And I could take paper towels and press that out a little bit. And leave it exposed to the air and let it dry out. And that's good for another extraction.
Hi, Daddy.
Hey, baby. Good morning. So I'm going to put this to where it's exposed to the sun, let it dry out, and then probably right around lunchtime or something, that's good for another extraction.